On today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a driving tour through a new boutique community called Prosper Ridge by Southgate Homes located in Prosper, Texas within Denton County. This is a small pocket neighborhood with just 32 home sites on 80-foot lots averaging about 10,000 square feet with floor plans starting around $945,000. As we drive through, I'm going to break down what you really need to know about Prosper Ridge, the home sizes, layouts, current pricing, tax rate, HOA fees, and school zoning for Prosper ISD, and my honest take on what I like and don't like about the community and things to consider if you're looking at new construction in this part of Prosper.
So that makes sense.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video today. You join me over here in Prosper, Texas. We are gonna be driving through Prosper Ridge. This is a new construction community by Southgate Homes located on the north side of Star Trail along Prosper Trail and Legacy Drive. This is also a neighborhood that's close to Park Place. So along Prosper Trail from Teal Parkway to Legacy Drive, there's three neighborhoods. It goes Park Place, then it goes Star Trail with just a road with a few houses up along that northern side of Star Trail, one of the last kind of areas and phases that they're building. And then on the other side of that is going to be Prosper Ridge, which is going to be a very small community. So not much to talk about today because there's only one builder in here, which is Southgate Homes. Now this neighborhood is specifically for buyers who want new construction, larger lots, quieter, more private setting, but who don't necessarily want to live inside one of those master plan communities with thousands of homes. This is something very different. Prosper Ridge is intentionally small. And when I say small, I mean like this is one of the smallest neighborhoods with also the biggest lots. Like if they did 50-foot lots in here, they probably could fit twice as many homes, but they're doing 80-foot lots in here, which I think is great for you guys depending on budget, but it is a lot smaller with a total of 32 home sites in here. That is it. The entire tract of this neighborhood spans 23 acres, and once those 32 homes are built and sold, this neighborhood is going to be complete. They're not going to add anything onto it. It's also not going to be any other additional amenities, but we'll talk about that here in a second. And that limited size changes the entire feel of this community. As we're driving through here, you'll notice there's not going to be a lot of cut-through traffic. There's not going to be a lot of congestion. You're not going to be wondering how far the neighborhood stretches. It feels very contained. You can drive the whole neighborhood within like 3 minutes. So calm, almost private, even though it's not a gated community. And that's part of the positioning here. This is more of an estate-style pocket neighborhood rather than a master plan development. Home sites are going to be on 80-foot lots with a minimum lot size of about 9,000 square feet and the average lot size around 10,000 square feet, roughly a quarter acre. That 80-foot width matters more than most people realize, even though I have had a lot of conversations and it seems like majority of people, when they come in and they give me a call or they send me a text, they're trying to be over 74 foot on the front with that width. 80 foot, usually people are getting priced out of. 74, sometimes it's working in people's budget. Sometimes not in Prosper, sometimes I'm seeing those people go up to Salina, but 80 matters from the curb really does make a difference between like a 60, 70, 50, and of course a 50-foot lot, right? It really does give the home more breathing room. The streetscapes feel wider, driveways feel more substantial, front elevations feel more balanced and proportional instead of compressed and feeling like, you know, half your house is just a garage. Home sizes in here range from 3,881 square feet up to 4,547 square feet. So these homes are going to be a large format. You're typically looking at 4 to 6 bedrooms, anywhere from 4.5 to 6.5 bathrooms, and 2 to 3 car garages. These homes are built for buyers who need space, whether that's for family, entertaining, multi-generational, home offices, or simply just wanting more square footage. Architecturally, you're going to see clean, upscale, transitional Texas design, painted brick, stone accents, strong roof lines, thoughtful elevation details, and it feels elevated in here without being too flashy. For pricing, on the smaller end of the lineup, around 3,800 square feet, pricing is going to be around starting $945,000. And then on the larger end, around 4,500 square feet, pricing is going to be starting at $1,500,000 and potentially up if you're adding on bedrooms and other design features and structural choices. So while the builder page shows you starting $945,000 or $1 million, most buyers customizing at this level should expect their final number to reflect the selections they have chose, which I would say is going to put you about $1.1, $1.2 million. And because it's a community that only has 32 homes total, availability is going to be naturally limited. And what I mean by that is the type of floor plan and elevation you want. So with a small community like this, you're going to have repetition rules, not going to have a lot to pick from. So getting into this neighborhood sooner rather than later might be a little bit better if you do want a certain type of floor plan to look a certain type of way. For the schools in here, Prosper Ridge is going to be zoned for Prosper ISD, which is going to be Hall Elementary, Mosley Middle School, and Prosper High School. Now let's break down taxes. For taxes in here, it's going to be about 1.9%. That's going to be for Denton County, the town of Prosper, and Prosper ISD. And there is no mud or PID within this neighborhood. HOA dues are going to be about $1,870 annually. I do feel like that is pretty steep for getting absolutely nothing. You could say that they have to use money to maintenance areas, but really on 23 acres, I don't think there's much that's going to need to be maintenance. So this HOA to me seems way out of line compared to other neighborhoods in the area and what you're getting. So that's just interesting. I was surprised. I was a bit taken aback by seeing the HOA that high, especially when Park Place, when you're getting price ranges and lot sizes around the same with a pickleball court, with a playground, with an amenity center at under $1,000 annually. So there's going to be some competition there. For the commute times in here, it's going to be very convenient, going to be very close to Highway 380, Dallas North Tollway. That gives you strong access to both Prosper and Frisco. Typical commute times will range, but for Frisco, about 15 to 25 minutes away, depending on traffic. Downtown Dallas, going to be about 40 to 55 minutes. DFW Airport, 35 to 55 minutes. Once again, all those ranges kind of depend on what time you're leaving during the day. Of course, it's going to be worse at 8 a.m. or 4 p.m. It's going to be best to travel around the city at like 11 to 1 o'clock. So while the neighborhood itself feels quiet and tucked away into a residential pocket, your day-to-day conveniences, grocery stores, restaurants, shopping are very accessible. But I think a lot of people are just going to look over this neighborhood and maybe jump over to Park Place and go with that one, since some of these numbers are kind of running near each other. I will say there's probably about a $100,000 premium over there at Park Place compared to this neighborhood. But when we start getting up to these numbers, sometimes $100,000 isn't a big difference between someone spending $1.2 and $1.3 million. Now, if this was a neighborhood where budgets were like $400,000 to $500,000, that usually is a difference between buyers buying a house at $400,000 and $500,000. But I find my buyers that are up in the million plus, they can usually kind of have a range of $100,000 north or south, depending on the number and what the house looks like in the community. So this one is going to be a little bit different. You don't really see neighborhoods like this getting built with these size lots, and we'll see how this one plays out. They are bringing some inventory homes here, so we'll see more pricing on that. So we'll maybe give an update on this neighborhood in about 6 months from now. But I do feel like this neighborhood is just going to be harder for the builder to sell homes in compared to maybe Park Place, just because these numbers are kind of getting in the same, and you get a gated neighborhood with a bunch of amenities over there. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Have you come across Prosper Ridge? If you kind of jumped over Prosper Ridge because you saw Park Place, which ones do y'all prefer most? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys have any other questions about buying new construction, or maybe if you're looking at pre-owned options over in this North Texas market, I would love to work with you and your family on your home search. I am a licensed real estate agent. Other than that, peace out, y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, contact me. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that,